Keeping shrimp can be an unbelievably rewarding experience. In this video, I'm going to teach you guys the top 4 tips that I give people that have bought shrimp from me so that by the time they come back, their shrimp colony has exploded rather than them coming back to buy more to start again. Now, this list used to be 10 things long, but over time, I've sort of really boiled it down to the 4 main essential things that if you can nail those 4, you will have a colony that just breeds and breeds and breeds without you having to think about it and without you having to do much to the tank as well. The first tip, and this is the most extensive, stability. Shrimp hate fluctuating levels of anything. So if your heat fluctuates, if your mineral level fluctuates, they'll hate it. Anything goes up or down, they will hate it. So your job is to create a very stable ecosystem, and the first and easiest way to do that is to increase the volume of water that you have. So don't go starting a micro shrimp tank if you're wanting your colony to do really well while also being pretty hands-off. In the pursuit of keeping your parameters as stable as possible, the larger volume of water that you've got, the better. And generally the whole larger or more capacity thing is what you wanted to go with. Make sure you buy a big tank. When you choose a filter for that tank, choose a big filter. And when you go for a heater, don't get a little 50-watt heater, get a larger heater that can do more wattage, that keeps that temperature more stable. The last part in the stability side of things is making sure that your nutrients, so the nitrates in your tank, stay stable as well. You want them close to 0, but not 0, because otherwise your plants will not thrive. And your minerals. Shrimp need a certain level of minerals. Minerals are really, really hard to wrap your head around. Once you understand it, they're so simple. Minerals generally don't leave your tank unless you take it out of your tank. So if you're water changing, you will need to replace the minerals in your water. More on that later on in this list. Tip number 2 is leaning on RO water. RO stands for reverse osmosis. And then remineralizing your water. The reason shrimp keepers like to lean on RO water the most is because you've got way more control over what your shrimp are experiencing in that tank. Tap water has already got some minerals in it. Just to keep it clean, if you run your tap water through a reverse osmosis machine, membrane, whatever you call that thing, and you just use RO water, you've just stripped all the minerals from that water, which means your shrimp have got nothing to keep their exoskeletons really strong. It's your responsibility to remineralize that water. So get yourself some kind of a shrimp mineral product. That means you've got the control over what levels of KH and GH is going into your tank. That way you can sort of titrate up or titrate down depending on what your shrimp need. Always when you're learning, start with Neocaridina species because they can handle way higher levels of minerals in the tank, and they can also handle higher fluctuations of the minerals. The moment you start going down the Caridina route, you really want to make sure that you've got your water keeping skills down because they handle the fluctuations a lot less. Start with Neos. Personally, when it comes to the Neos, I've kept oranges, greens, reds, blues, yellows, and I love them to bits. Yellows are always my favorite because they sell so perfectly out of my fish room. They're actually what this whole fish room is based on. So that's tip number 2. Get yourself an RO machine, learn how to remineralize your water. Yes, it may be sucky to learn at the start, but trust me when I say this, once you've got the hang of it, it's so simple, and your shrimp love you for it and just explode. If you're keeping Neos, you can always keep them on tap water, and they do well. Do they thrive to the absolute, nth of their potential? Maybe not, but that doesn't mean they're not gonna do well in your tank. So choosing aquascaping rocks that do that job for you means you're not dumping as much money into your minerals, and it gives you a little bit of leeway when your minerals start to drop. You know that they'll drop slower because the rocks are actually replacing those minerals at a decent rate. These rocks from Delua are game changers when it comes to putting minerals into your water without you even thinking about it. You really are spoiled for choice when it comes to which rocks to choose from to put into your tank. Third tip is all to do with the shrimp habitat that you're creating in your tank. I love driftwood, plants, and mosses. Those 3 things are just bacterial havens for your shrimp. That means your babies survive longer. That means your shrimp enjoy their life better, etc., etc. Java moss is always the king of mosses, though it may not be the most aesthetic. So if you're wanting to go down the aesthetic route and you've got CO2 injection in your tanks, you can go for Christmas moss, spiky moss, flame moss, all sorts of stuff. And when it comes to plants, literally every plant will do the trick. I just like to lean further on stemmed plants that grow fast because I kind of like trimming plants. I don't know, it's just a thing in the hobby that really gives me joy. Plus, if your plants are growing fast, they're sucking nitrates out of your tank fast as well, meaning way less water changes, which means you don't have to touch the water as much, meaning less fluctuations in your water. Are you getting what I'm putting down? The less you touch the tank, the less it fluctuates, and the more your shrimp like it. Less fluctuation, more shrimp. So the more habitat you create, the more plants you put in and the moss you put in, the better your shrimp colony will be longer term. And the last tip has got to do with what you're feeding your little shrimpies. Making sure that they're fed a varied diet of food that doesn't spike nitrates or ammonia too much in your tank. So I feed protein very minimally, algae quite a lot, and then I also like to mix it up and put in different vegetables like carrots and the king, zucchini. There's also the argument in the shrimp community that what you feed your shrimp influences the color that comes out in your shrimp. So with my pumpkin shrimp, believe it or not, I feed pumpkin. It doesn't go bad fast in the water. Plus, maybe it's anecdotal, I noticed that the color does increase for a week or 2 weeks, but the thing is, the moment you stop feeding that colored food, I feel like it stops working as well. There are products called shrimp pops by Serious About Shrimp that I've tried personally, and they do wonders as well. They kind of pick and choose. So there's blue pops for your blues, there's orange pops for your oranges, there's greens for your greens, that sort of thing. They match the color of food to the color of shrimp that you keep, which I think takes all the guesswork out. Plus, there's the added novelty of when you put your shrimp pop in your water, all of your shrimp come from their hiding places and straight onto that shrimp pop, and they just start teaming it until it's gone. Helps you with knowing how many shrimp are in your colony, plus it's visually appealing as well. I like to add those in before people sort of come through my fish room because it really drags out all of my shrimp right to the front of my tank, which means I can sort of show people shrimp a lot easier and it helps me sell shrimp more. So if you follow those 4 things, stability, reverse osmosis, habitat, and diet, your shrimp colony will be so healthy, breeding like mad, babies all the time, just keeping to those 4 tips. I want to start a little competition in the comments section to see which color is the most popular. I'm almost certain yellows are going to win because they're my absolute undisputed favorites, but let me know what shrimp you've kept in the comments below and what color you think is best. So hope that one helps, guys, and hit the subscribe button to get closer to your aquarium hobby.